Welcome to your English class. Children, we are going to begin chapter 3rd, Ranga's Marriage, from your supplementary reader snapshot book. Let's proceed towards the chapter. Let's know about the writer. Masti Venkatesh Iyengar was born in 1891 in Kolar district of Karnataka. He had spent his early childhood in Masti village. He obtained his master's degree in English literature in the year 1914 from Madras University. Then, after joining the Indian Civil Service that was known the Mysore Civil Service in the days of the Maharaja of Mysore, he held various positions of responsibility in the different parts of Karnataka and rose to the rank of the district commissioner. After the long service of 26 years, he resigned in 1943 as a protest, as he did not get the post equivalent to the minister, which he felt he deserved more, as his junior was promoted ahead of him. He wrote some pieces in English and then switched to the writing in the Kannada language. He often used the pen name Siri Nivas in his writing. Moreover, he was the fourth one among the Kannada writers to be honored with the Jananpi Award, that is the highest literary honor conferred in a country. Let's get the introduction about the story. It dates us back to the early days of the British rule, when life in villages was slow and child marriage was quite common. In this delightful story, you will find the whole thread is woven in the Hoshani village that is near Mysore. The narrator is an elderly person who is very proud of his village and generally likes to be involved in the lives of the fellow villagers. Here you are going to meet the character Ranga, who was the son of the accountant who had been sent to Bangalore for the higher education. But when the boy came back, the narrator decided to get this boy married, even though Ranga had many newfangled ideas about the marriage. Moreover, it is very interesting to see how the narrator would do the manipulation to bring a change in the idealistic views of Ranga about marriage, and he got him married to an 11-year-old girl, Ratna. See chapter 3rd, Ranga's Marriage. Ranga, the accountant's son, is one of the rare breed among the village folk who has been to the city to pursue his studies. When he returns to his village from the city of Bangalore, the crowds mill around his house to see whether he has changed or not. His ideas about marriage are now quite different, or are they? Rare breed, that means a person or a thing with characteristics that are uncommon among their kind or breed. Just I've told you in the introduction, the story revolves around Ranga, the village accountant son, who had just returned from Bangalore. Everyone in the village became excited to see the boy, because during those days everyone could not get the chance to get the higher education from the cities. So they became excited and gathered at his home to analyze that after getting the studies from the big city, the boy had changed or not. But his ideas about the marriage were quite different. So you will see in the story whether he was going to sustain these ideas or not. Let's see in the chapter. Ranga's Marriage. When you see this title, some of you may ask, Ranga's Marriage? Why not Ranganatha Vivaha or Ranganath Vidya? Well, yes, I know I could have used some other mouth-filling one like Jagannatha Vidya or Girija Kalyana. But then, this is not about Jagannatha's victory or Girija's wedding. It is about our own Ranga's marriage, hence, no fancy title. Fancy means decorative or imaginative. Vivaha, that stands for the marriage. Here, the narrator starts the story asking the readers why he had given such a simple title, Ranga's Marriage, to his present story. He says that the readers might be expecting the names just like Ranganatha Vivaha or Ranganatha Vidya or some imaginative and the mouth-filling names like Jagannatha Vidya or Girija Kalyana. He clarifies that though he had many options of keeping such decorative names, but the reason of selecting such basic and casual name to the story is that the story revolves around a village boy, Ranga, that was very close and loving to the narrator. That's why there was no imaginative or decorative title to the story. Khushali is our village. You must have heard of it. No? What a pity. But it's not your fault. There is no mention of it in any geography book. Those sahibs in England writing in English probably do not know that such a place exists and so make no mention of it. Sahib is a title used for the British writers as a story is written in the British rule. So all the writers of the English language were residing in England. However, here the narrator explains that he belonged to the village called Khushali, that is in Mysore state. But it's said that not many people in a country know about this place. But the narrator did not blame them. He said, as there was no mark of this place in the geography book, that's why they are not aware of this place. Even, he said, all the English writers, they belong to the England, so they did not have any idea about this place too. Our own people do forget about it. You know how it is. They are like a flock of sheep. One sheep walks into a pit, the rest blindly follow it. Flock of sheep, that means the group of people behaving the same way or following what others are doing. Here, the writer first commented and clarified that the British writers could not be blamed for not knowing the location of Khushali, this remote village. He said, our own country people, they are ignorant about the location of Khushali, this remote village. He said, in fact, the Indian people behave like the flock of sheep. They did and blindly follow each other and don't use their own logic and brain to justify the things or invent anything in their mind. When both the sahibs in England and our own geographers have not referred to it, you cannot expect the poor cartographer to remember to put it on the map, can you? And so, there is not even the shadow of a village on any map. Cartography is the study and the practice of making maps. Cartographer is the person who draws and produces the maps. Finally, here The narrator commented, as both these English writers and our own Indian geographers have not mentioned anywhere the location of this place, how the poor map maker could draw himself this location in the map of our country. So this is the reason of not getting any trace of this remote village in the Indian map. Sorry, I started somewhere and then went off in another direction. If the state of Mysore is to Bharatvarsha, what the sweet Karigadabu is to a first meal. Bharatvarsha stands for our country, India. Karigadabu is a South Indian fried sweet filled with the coconut and sugar. See, this is the pic of Karigadabu, that is the famous first meal of Karnataka. He mentions, just like Karigadabu, the special first meal of the Mysore state. In the similar way is the importance of Mysore state in our great country. In the same way, he praised his own village, Hoshali. He said, just like the filling of Karigadabu is equally important, just like the sweet dish itself. So is the importance of Hoshali village in their great Mysore. So he appreciated their places very special in the Mysore state. What I have said is absolutely true. Believe me, I will not object to your questioning it, but I will stick to my opinion. I am not the only one who speaks glowingly of Hoshali. Glowingly means proudly. Now, he mentions that he is not the only one who sings the song of the praise of his village. Even he said the readers can ask the famous doctor of the village that has the name Gunda Bhatta. He also feels the same. He agrees with me. He has been to quite a few places. No, not England. If anyone asks him whether he has been there, he says, no, Anaya, I have left that to you. Running around like a flea pester dog is not for me. I have seen a few places in my time, though as a matter of fact, he has seen many. Anaya, it is a Kannada language word used as a respectful term for the elders. Flea pester dog, it means a dog that does not stick to one place but keep on roaming everywhere. Otherwise, flea pestered means being infested by fleas and ticks, which can cause uncontrollable itching in the animals. Thus, speaking proudly about the beauty and importance of his place, the narrator here took the support of the village doctor Gunda Bhatta. He said he also agreed as he had seen many places. He also concluded. Here the narrator gave the reference of the village doctor Gunda Bhatta. He said he also praised the beauty and importance of Hoshali village. If anybody asked his doctor, he replied that he had seen though many places in his life but not gone to England. But still, he liked and praised his own village, Hoshali. He also said he has never behaved to be like a flea pester dog and stick to one place, but he had keep on moving everywhere. But still, he liked Hoshali village and loves the Hoshali village. We have some mango trees in our village. Come visit us and I will give you a raw mango from one of them. Don't eat it, just take a bite. The soreness is sure to go straight to your Brahmandra. I once took one such fruit home and a chutney was made out of it. All of us ate it. The cough we suffered from after that. It was when I went for the cough medicine and the doctor told me about the special quality of the food. Brahmandra, that is the soft part in a child's head where skull bones join together. Here it is used as an idiomatic expression to convey the extreme potency of the soreness of the mangoes of their village. Here the narrator is sharing the two special things of his village. First he starts with the praise of the mango trees of his village Hoshali. He informs the readers if they would visit his place and they would be offered the raw mangoes of his place. They should not eat it as a whole but take the single bite of it, as the soreness of the mangoes can make them sick. He also shared with the readers about his own bitter experience of tasting these mangoes and knowing the soreness quality of them. He said that once he took this fruit at home to make the chutney, and everyone who enjoyed and relished it had suffered from the bad cough after eating it. It was only then, when he went to see the doctor, that informed him about this special quality of the mangoes of Hoshali. That's why he advised the readers to take the single bite and assures that the soreness of the mangoes of his place will be felt by them till the top of their head, where the soft and the tender part of the head is located. Just as the mango is special, so is everything else around our village. We have a creeper growing in the ever so fine water of the village pond. Its flowers are a feast to behold. Get 2 leaves from the creeper when you go to the pond for your bath, and you will not have to worry about not having leaves on which to serve the afternoon meal. Behold, that means to see or observe. Here in the next paragraph, again the narrator continued praising the specialities of his village. He said not only the mangoes, everything in and around his village is notable and special. Here he mentions the creepers grown in the village pond. He said that its flowers are also very special and worth seeing. He even praised the importance of the leaves of these creepers. He said that one can even serve his afternoon meal on its leaves. The only need is to grab and pluck 2 leaves when you are on your way to the pond to take the bath. Then there won't be any worry or botheration where to serve the afternoon meal. You will say, I am rambling. It is always like that when the subject of a village comes up. But enough, if anyone of you would like to visit us, drop a line. I will let you know where Hoshali is and what things are like here. The best way of getting to know a place is to visit it. Don't you agree? Ramble means to stray from the main point. Hence, after speaking proudly about this village and its special things, the narrator comments that he was not just rambling about the worth of his place. He suggested the readers that they should pay the visit to his place. He feels that there is no better way to know a place than to make the physical visit by themselves there. He says if they wish to see his place, they should drop a line to him. Then he would help them how to reach to his location. So this would be the right way to know about the significance of the village Vaishali. I hope you well understood up to this part. Must watch the next part in the coming video. Thank you for watching the video.